We always said great things don't come from comfort zones. I think that if I were to explain Tommy to you guys in college, like the first thing that comes to mind, free spirit. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think I want kids now.
Crazy, huh? So the grass that we're standing on.
Exactly.
On this side.
What rapper can you find in a toolbox?
No MSR. Sorry, guys.
People. ASMR.
So I said it right?
No.
ASMR.
Okay, let's dive in.
Fun fact, everyone. I always brush my teeth before I start the podcast. And sometimes I eat a mint as well. And the reason why I do that, it just makes me feel alive, makes me feel clean. There's nothing like fresh breath that makes you feel so alive. And the mints I'm talking about is like the only mints that we eat. And we literally buy it every time it runs out at Trader Joe's. It is called mint. I'm going to grab it real quick.
It's called mints.
Mints. Yep. Mints with a Y. MYNTZ. Right here. I don't know if you guys can see that in the camera.
If you guys are watching on YouTube.
Yes. Or if you're watching on YouTube.
But if you're listening on the podcast, it's the one that's blue and it's like $1.99 is the best mint on earth.
And it makes you feel alive. Like I always like to eat these mints when I'm feeling kind of sluggish. Throughout the day, like in the afternoon, right? You kind of feel it kind of slow down. So I just eat one and I'm alive. Sometimes I need two, usually one or two.
Well, we also love that feeling of being fresh, of being clean, feeling good, fresh breath, feeling clean. That's the best.
Yep.
Today's episode is not sponsored by Mints.
It is not, but if Trader Joe's or Mints, if you guys want to sponsor us, just let us know. Slide into DMs and let's make it happen. All right. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to It's a Win-Win Wednesday, where we upload an episode every week. And we share with you our lives, the things that we're going through, the things that we're navigating, the tensions that we're feeling on a week-to-week basis in hopes of being able to connect with one of you, at least, that is watching or listening to this podcast right now. And we hope it has been helpful. We hope we can help, stay relevant and, make some type of connection to you. So thank you, everyone who's been DMing us, commenting on the YouTube channel. It's so meaningful to us, and it means so much, and it's encouraging for us. So if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. You're amazing. And if you're new here, welcome to the podcast. It's so good to have you. So if we haven't met yet, my name is Tommy Nguyen.
And I'm SoCal Nguyen. We are a husband and wife couple. We do everything together in life. We work together. We do literally everything together. Everything. And so we
work, sleep, eat.
Everything.
Yeah,
it's crazy. So if you are new here, we're so excited that you're here. And we were looking back at what our most popular podcast was. We have some. It was like Leaving California was one. And then another one was the differences between the Midwest and the West Coast. And so if you guys are new here, you probably don't know this, but Tommy and I are not from California. We live in California right now, but we are from the Midwest. And there's so many things about the Midwest that I love. And I just feel like we have a different perspective living in the West Coast, the Bay Area, Silicon Valley specifically, being from the Midwest. And so because of that, we're just exploring where we live, where, God has placed us basically. And we finally have explored Southern California. And we've lived in Northern California for 5 years now. And I just feel like it was time. It was time to finally explore outside of like this general area. And before we moved here, we always knew of this like NorCal, SoCal tension or like competition, rivalry. I don't know what the right word is, but NorCal thinks they're better than SoCal. SoCal thinks they're better than NorCal.
And it depends on who you talk to. And so I first heard about this really in college. I have a friend who lives out here in the Bay Area from college. And he basically told me NorCal, Northern California, and Southern California are basically two states. And if you've ever seen a map of California, it's a huge state. So it makes a lot of sense that it's going to be different in one half to the other half. Even
NorCal alone, it's like there's so many different places of Northern California. So I totally get it now living here. But like when you're not from California or you never lived there, it's just like whatever, it's just a state. But even Northern Indiana and Southern Indiana are very different.
True, even in the middle, right? Yeah, Indianapolis, the capital, it's different from Northern Indiana.
Exactly. So it makes a lot of sense. And so I learned about this NorCal, SoCal rivalry like from Tumblr days, which is like maybe 2008, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. I miss Tumblr days. Those are some good days. Were you guys on Tumblr? Let me know. Zynga,
Yeah, if you're an OG,
MySpace.
let us know.
Yes, that's like the start. One of like almost the beginning. That was the beginning of my social media life and career and all of that. It's crazy.
I think that was my first social media platform too. It was Tumblr.
Mine was Zynga.
Zanga, yes, yeah. I never made it that. I never started that early.
2006. Let's go.
Dang.
Anyway, so today we're going to talk about the differences that we have observed from NorCal and SoCal. And I thought this would be fun because we are super unbiased. Just because we live in NorCal doesn't mean we're like, NorCal's the best, because we can't say NorCal's the best if we've never lived or visited SoCal.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so we're coming at an unbiased perspective.
Yes.
I love California though. I love the West Coast, but NorCal and SoCal, we don't. We're neutral parties right now. Actually, at the end of kind of going through everything, we'll talk about like which one we prefer.
Okay.
And maybe we'll ask the question towards the end. But this is cool. This is exciting. And just get ready. And if you guys have opinions, make sure to comment down below and let us know what you think as well.
Yeah, I think if our friends from California are watching, I think they'll definitely have some opinions, and I think we might break some hearts. I don't know. But I know my friend Phil. Phil, if you're watching, I know your opinion on this.
You're biased, bro.
But then I have friends who are in NorCal that also say NorCal is better.
They're biased too.
Let's dive in. NorCal versus
wait.
SoCal.
Let's break it down.
Yeah, I'm going to break it down.
Oh, my bad. I jumped the gun.
We're going to break it down. Food, people, traffic, geography, and just like the culture / things to do.
It's about 5 things.
Because we were only there for about 4 days. And so there's only so much that we could take in. And I want to go back and experience more because we only went so far into Southern California because we had a little bit of a time restraint. So,
well, let's talk about Northern California too. Okay. So when we talk about NorCal, we're talking about the Bay Area because north of this, there's a bunch of other stuff that's past San Francisco. You have Sonoma, Napa, you got Eureka, Redding, you got all those, which is like NorCal. It's like double, like I don't even know what you call that. It's like super north, almost into Washington up there or Oregon, whatever state comes first.
Geography.
And then SoCal as well. Like you have LA County, Orange County, and you can go all the way down to San Diego. So that's a huge stretch. Mm-hmm. So just to specify, we're talking about when we say NorCal, Bay Area. So
basically San Jose.
So
mostly.
SF down to San Jose. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then SoCal, really, it's going to be, from kind of like Santa Barbara, if that counts kind of as SoCal, kind of central-ish, all the way down to like Newport Beach area. Orange County area.
Basically what we like experienced.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if I'd say Santa Cruz is definitely NorCal. I don't think it's a Bay Area though, right?
It's central. I think it's considered central California.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to count Santa Cruz because we go to Santa Cruz so much.
Okay.
So let's start off with food. Food, NorCal versus SoCal. My opinion, I don't know how many people are going to agree with this. SoCal has better food, period.
You triggered some people probably. But what foods are better? So there's different types of food, right? The food here is a little different than the food down in SoCal. So let's compare the actual types of food.
I mean, honestly, the Vietnamese food in Orange County is the best I have had ever. Our family makes amazing food, but the pho that we had at Soup Noodle Bar, nothing can top that right now. So I think that the Viet food was amazing in Orange County. The price points are not that bad. And I thought that East San Jose's Vietnam Town had amazing Viet food, which I do think they do. But man, Orange County has some beat.
Well, I think what we learned too with Vietnamese food, you have Northern Vietnamese and Southern Vietnamese like styles of food, and we found out that we actually like Northern Vietnamese tastes a lot more than Southern. So like pho Hanoi and East Side, we really like pho Hanoi, and I think it's made in the Northern style.
I wouldn't quote us on that, but
pho Hanoi is Northern Vietnam.
I'm pretty sure that's what the menu said too.
Yeah. And then when we went to Soup Noodle, we got the Northern style way of them like seasoning
Tons
it.
of
and it
onions.
Was
and it was like garlicky. It was just so good.
I think it's more like fish saucy too.
I don't know that.
I think so.
I don't know.
And Southern's a bit more on the sweeter side where it's savory on the Northern side.
I'm just going to trust you on that.
I need to ask my dad. I need to call him and just ask him.
Yeah, so I personally have felt that the food in SoCal is better. The Vietnamese food, I totally loved this place in Santa Barbara. I posted on my Instagram. It's called Bar Barbeños, and it was like a California style cuisine, which I guess there's something called California cuisine, and it's a Michelin star restaurant. And not that that's like something that's normal that we do, but I was like, I'm on vacay, I'm gonna ball out. And we went to this Michelin star restaurant. It was so beautiful. It was so clean. It was so chill. It was just like every little detail of like the way the plates were to like the cups and just the menu and the service. It just felt like I 100% highly recommend that place. And I have found nothing here in SoCal. I mean, in NorCal that compares. I mean, we've been to Madera. Well, I've been to Madera on Sand Hill Road in Palo Alto. No comparison in the type of food. And Madera is good, but this was like
Madero is
better.
kind of bougie too, right? In terms of like the location, like where it's at. It's on the golf course or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
It's
like a resort.
It's on Sand Hill Road, if you guys know that, out in the Bay Area.
And the
Most
price
people know
points
that.
are similar, but like the food at Bar Barbeños in Santa Barbara was just like, it was next. It wasn't as nice, like the scenery, but the food was better, which is ultimately what matters. So.
And the service was great.
Yeah, I mean, the service was comparable to Madera, but just everything tasted better. So
And what kind of food is this that you're talking about?
it's just called California cuisine. So we just had like a bunch of like seafood.
Like, it's like seafood?
Not, I guess American. I don't know. I don't even know how to classify American food.
So California cuisine, it could be kind of like seafoody, right? Because we're on the coast.
I mean, it's
Santa
just
Barbara.
like fresh fish. It's like I got all fish.
That's right.
Right. So I don't think that's American food, because if you go to Texas Roadhouse, it's like you're not going to order fish there.
Yeah, that's true. And also, in Santa Barbara, that restaurant was really cool because it's kind of like a smaller, dainty kind of restaurant, like a really intimate vibe, which was kind of cool. Maybe we need to explore more Michelin type restaurants here, because I mean, I'm sure there's like hidden gems out here that we haven't tried yet.
Mm-hmm. Madera's Michelin star too, but it's kind of, I mean, I wish I didn't like this type of food because it's pretty expensive, but I love it.
I mean, once in a while, I think it's good.
Like for birthdays, I'm down. So what do you think about the food?
So it depends on the type of food. And that's why I think that's very important, depending on where you're at, is the type of food. Vietnamese, I would say I agree with Sopa. Down in SoCal, in Orange County, the Irvine, kind of Fountain Valley area, the Vietnamese food there was amazing. It was amazing. Like, probably the best pho I've had in California. Home cooked meals, of course, from the family is also very good. So they're both really up there.
Yeah.
And the special thing about where we went was soup noodle. It's spelled S-U-P, like sup, but it's really soup noodle. They have a 48-hour broth, which I think is like what made it really good. And then adding just northern style, like seasonings of the way of making it. Yeah. And what's really cool there, well, there's two things that I thought was really cool. So the first thing is the noodles, unlimited noodles. Never been to a place like that. That was really cool. I could only eat one bowl. I wish I could eat more. The waitress told me she's had someone eat 5 refills of noodles, which is insane.
That
so
makes me feel
if
sick.
Dave is watching this, I could totally see you doing that. If you come visit us, you and Akip, we would take you to SoCal and feed you the best food, Vietnamese food of your life.
Yes.
And then the second cool thing at that place was the lychee lemonade.
Yeah. And if you check in on Yelp, you got a free one. It was like so good. And Tommy, like, he didn't want, like, the server was so good. She was like, oh, both of you can get it if you both have Yelp. And I was like, oh, I'll get it. And then he's like, oh, I'm good. He tried mine. And then I told him to get his own.
After I tried it, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this Yelp offer, get this free drink. And it was so good that we put it into our like thermal water bottle, put some ice in it so it could keep cold on the drive back up to the Bay Area. And I savored it for like the past week, and it's been amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy. He's not like that normally either. Like, he's not the type to like savor and like.
Yeah, that's true. And the server, she was cool. Like, she hooked it up. She really like. It was just an overall great experience. Okay, so Vietnamese food, and then we went to another place called Nep Cafe, Vietnamese brunch spot, and that was amazing. I've never heard of that type of concept, like brunch, Vietnamese brunch. So it's like brunch type food, like steak and eggs, but Vietnamese style.
Yeah,
and that was
straight fire. Dude, it was so good. Highly recommend. There is nothing like that here in NorCal. I'm like really hoping that they bring it up here because, wow, amazing. My cousin Nathan and his girlfriend recommended it on their foodie Instagram page. You guys got to follow them. They're legit. Love that. I will say we went to a taco place and
Oh yeah. Can I talk about that?
okay,
The taco spot. Because I think I'm more of a bigger taco fan.
you are.
Okay, so moving from Vietnamese, SoCal wins there in that category. Going to Mexican food, specifically tacos, because I love tacos. If you know me, and so we went to this place called Av 26 Taco. Didn't know what to expect. Didn't know if it was like a taco truck or just a little taco stand or a taco restaurant. And as we got there, it ended up being like in an industrial area. So we're driving through. It's late at night, like 10, 11 p.m. They opened up and they stayed open until like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. It's like a Thursday night, right? A weekday. Mm-hmm. So we're driving around like, oh man, this is kind of sketch, right? We're going through these industrial spots. It just felt like, when you go to a sketch area, you just kind of feel it. So we were kind of feeling it. But then in my head, I didn't tell Sopal this. I'm like, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. Because the best places are like hole in the wall type places, right? Like places that are sketchy usually have really good food. Don't quote me on that.
A lot of people say that. A lot of people say that. But I don't know if you guys can tell how different we already are. We literally came from this like sugarfish sushi place that was amazing to driving to the taco place, which is like
so we're driving to the taco place late at night to like 10, 11 p.m. We're going to a sketch spot, industrial. It's super dark. So we go and we just start hearing all this like La Banda music. I'm like, what is this? Like, it's popping.
Yeah.
And we just see the street, and it's straight up like night market style, but like Mexican, like a Mexican night market. Usually, like we've been to night markets, and it's like Asian, right? Like a Lao Thai thing when we went back to Asia a couple years ago. But there's like
it's just all Mexican food and desserts and drinks.
It was actually so the experience itself I thought was super cool.
Yeah, I think it was fun experience.
Yeah, so we were kind of walking
once
down.
You get out of the mindset of it's like super sketchy, because it is sketchy.
It is in a sketch spot.
Yeah.
At least the parking is like once you kind of get down the night market,
it's like so dark.
It feels pretty chill.
I'm like completely focused on where I'm walking, not on my phone, nothing. I'm like trying to walk fast. I did not feel safe whatsoever.
Well, like where we parked the car was kind of sketch because it was just dark. There wasn't a lot of people, and it was just like really quiet and dark. But once we got to the street, it felt fine.
Our friend Phil did warn us it was going to be sketchy though, so at least yeah.
Oh, I didn't get the memo, but it's all good. We're here. So we're going down. I'm seeing all this like Mexican food, tacos, burritos. I think tamales. Did it have tamales or no?
No.
I can't remember. There's so much, and there's like Mexican candy, which I love, and then you have all the drinks like horchata and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like in heaven, right? I'm like, this place is popping, and all this like really good food.
It's so funny. It was so loud, and that's not my vibe.
So and so the thing is, so once we got there, tons of actually taco like stands. And there's one that had a really long line. I'm like, this one looks really interesting. But the one we wanted to go to was a little bit further down, and that had a line too. So we ended up going to the one we intended to go to, Ab 26 Tacos. And it was really cool, little street tacos. And I got al pastor, always gotta get al pastor, and you got steak, carne asada. And so we had and we kind of went through a line, did the thing, put the onions on, cilantro, and then hot sauce. I take the bite into it, and this is like after sugarfish, so after dinner, it's like a little kind of late night snack.
Yeah.
And I was a little disappointed. It wasn't as good as I was hoping, and I'm sure there's really great tacos in SoCal. Maybe we got to try more spots because there's literally taco places everywhere. We just went to one.
Yeah, it's not fair to rate it based on one taco place, but they were really cheap. Like the value of the taco. I forgot how much it was. $1.25, $1.50.
$1.25, yep.
And we pay like $3 here. So I think the prices of SoCal totally win for the tacos. The sketchy experience, a lot of the taco places here feel sketchy when you go to them too. Same thing.
It's part of the experience, man.
Yeah, and it just is what it is. But I think the tacos are better here. Sorry, friends.
At least, at this very current moment, as I'm speaking right now, I say NorCal wins in the taco category because we have a taco truck that we've been going to for the last 5-6 years, however long we've lived here. And it's amazing. Prices are a little bit higher. It's $3 a piece, $2.53. I think they've increased it versus like $1.25.
Yeah.
But the Av 26 tacos are also a little bit smaller too.
Yeah. And
less meat.
I loved how fast the service was because I'm all about that efficiency of service.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't like that it was cash only. I didn't like that it was like self-serve for the onions and cilantro. But I think you get what you pay for, right? It's like $1.50. I don't expect them to put it all on and have this full on service. Like there's just hundreds of people touching the tongs and the spoons and the salsas and the radishes. I just don't like that.
See, for me, I felt the opposite. I'm like, this is cool. I get to like make my own. You give me my tortilla, you give me the meat that I want, and then I do it myself, which I enjoyed it. It's part of the experience.
Yeah, he likes that. I don't like that. I felt really gross eating it.
Okay.
But I had sanitizer, so I had sanitizer. But that's just the honest review of how I felt with it.
Okay, let's do before. I think we should do at least 3 kind of examples before we move on to the next thing. Sushi.
I mean, I think sushi there is a lot better.
In SoCal. Mm-hmm. So we'll compare it to, let's say, Mizu. You guys heard of Mizu Sushi here in San Jose versus Sugarfish down in, where was that?
Pasadena, but I think there's another one in LA or something. Okay. I mean, I'm a sushi person I don't like all of the crunch and the sauce, and like, I don't like all the crazy like fried onion, fried garlic stuff. I know a lot of people do, so I'm coming at it from the perspective of just the fish alone. Sugarfish is that it is like beautiful, like nigiri, and it's just so good. Like it's just, the fish was so soft, melted in your mouth like butter. Experience was good. It was chill in there. The server was amazing. The prices are higher, so I don't like that part of it. But sushi, the taste of the sushi melted in my mouth is perfection.
Yeah, I think there's a big difference between the two, where Mizu is a little bit more affordable, even though sushi in general is just expensive.
Dude, it's so expensive. We can only eat sushi like a couple times, if that. Like,
yeah, and to me, I really love like the crunchiness. Like, I get a fried California at Mizu. That's what I get. Like, and I'm not a huge raw fish fan, like nigiri, sashimi, and all that kind of stuff. But I think, just looking at both of them, I think quality-wise of like the fish, of the nigiri and sashimi like that we got, the quality was much better at Sugarfish, and you could just tell it was like prepped by sushi chefs. Not saying Mizu does not have that; it's just prepped differently. I think Mizu maybe caters more to the general crowd, and then Sugarfish kind of caters more to the sushi kind of enthusiasts, people who like really enjoy authentic sushi. Not saying Mizu doesn't have it, just Sugarfish it was a whole different vibe. They didn't offer like all the saucy stuff. It was like, what was konigiri, right? Just rice, and then you have the fish. And then one thing I did notice, the fish at Sugarfish was at like room temperature, and I think that's how you're properly supposed to eat it, at room temp. Like, it wasn't like chilled, like it wasn't cold. It was just a nice like kind of room temp fish. I mean, you guys will see it in our vlog. We're still working on the vlog. We're a little behind, so thank you for your patience on that. We had some big things kind of go on this week, which we're really excited about, and I'll plug that at the very end. But yeah, so we would say SoCal wins that one too.
Yep.
And this is all just based on our experience right now. Maybe we find something here in Bay Area that we like more.
I mean, comment below and recommend us stuff, you guys, because we just go to the same places. Because for me, I have a hard time spending money on things if I don't like the taste of it, or like if I try a new boba place and I don't like it, it crushes me when I don't like it, because I just don't like spending money on food that doesn't taste good.
Yeah, and I think you're more particular with what you eat, and you're more of a foodie than I am.
Yeah.
To me, my taste palette is not super strong, but I love like a lot of stuff. I have a variety of things that I enjoy.
Yeah, I'm just picky. I just know what I like and don't like.
Okay, so food wise, NorCal, SoCal.
SoCal wins.
I think
for
SoCal
me.
wins it.
So the people, I mean, I feel like I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a humongous fan of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Don't judge me. It's my guilty pleasure. I love it. And so we drove through Calabasas and like Beverly Hills and all this, and Malibu, all these places that they show on their show. And the only picture I had of people from SoCal are the Kardashians, which I know is not the accurate representation of the girls that are like, yeah, oh my gosh, like that.
I think it depends on the area.
It depends on the area, but in my mind, I always thought, because again, from the Midwest, that everyone in California is just like, yeah.
That you're stereotyping.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's all I could base it off of was the Kardashians, right? But then, of course, I meet my friends like Jackie and all these other girls are not like that. So basically going to LA, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to expect. And so I did not really witness that at all. The whole
Yeah.
like I
Just
think
normal
do they
people.
call them Valley Girls? I don't know. They talked about it at Purdue, like some of the girls.
That's
that
more
talk
like
about it.
stereotyping again.
Yeah, but that the people, from my experience, the servers, the hotel, what are they called? Receptionist? I don't know. The
I can't say that word.
concierge.
I'm not even gonna try.
I thought people were nicer in SoCal, and I don't know if
Whoa.
that is like accurate. I don't know. Our friends from SoCal, NorCal have to tell us if they think that's true. But I thought the service was so much better. I'm such a service person and like kindness and hospitality. And I just felt like everyone was nicer in SoCal than NorCal.
Well, I'm thinking about it. I think it's pretty much the same. There's not really a huge difference, but you could definitely tell people's views. I'm not trying to make this anything beyond that are different, just in their values. But I think in terms of friendliness, niceness, pretty much the same. I mean, unless you're going to stereotype Silicon Valley, you know.
People here just aren't friendly to me. And that's not saying
Actually,
they're not that friendly.
I think you're right. Okay, so here's a great example. Zara. So we went to the mall in Beverly Hills. I don't know why, but we did.
Yeah, don't do that.
Oh, do it.
Don't go to the mall in Beverly Hills. I don't know why we did that.
We just wanted to go to the mall. Okay. And so at Zara, right? You had your experience here at Zara, like the workers here. Mm-hmm. Not the best experience. And then I remember we were checking out at Zara in Beverly Hills, and the person checking us out was super nice, super friendly. I think she said she liked your shirt or something.
No, well, I bought this shirt. Zara's having their sale, by the way, you guys. So if you're a Zara fan, you should go because they have some good deals right now. But I bought this like cute tank top thing, and she was like, "This is gonna look so good on you. I have this tank top," and she's like, "You're gonna love it." And it was only $9.99. So she's like hyping me up on my purchase. She's complimenting the shirt that I got and saying it's gonna look nice on me. The Zara here, they're just like mad. Like the workers do not talk. They're just like irritated. They just tell you the price. Want a bag? Like it's like that. They want a bag? And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like it's so intense and they're so mean here.
And you're not just saying this based on one encounter or one experience.
No, every time I go to Zara.
Has happened multiple times.
Yeah, in San Jose, like I'd rather even shop online, even though their website's not that great. But like I try to be so nice to these girls at Zara because I feel like they are stressed. Like the environment is stressy. Like it's long line stress. Stressy. And they're not that nice there. But the one in Beverly Hills, they're just like, this is gonna look so good on you. And I'm like, what the heck?
And
she's so nice.
I think we're not trying to generalize like just based on a couple of experiences based off one store. It's just more of an example. I can only talk
on my experience.
And I think it's all based on individuals and where you live does have some influence in that and how you behave and who you are, right? Or in how you act. But when we were at Sugarfish, the waiter, that guy, dude, he was super cool and kind of like hyping us up and all the choices we made. Because looking at the menu, the cool thing about Sugarfish is you can choose something called Trust Me. So the chef kind of makes you all the food. And it's kind of like you just order like this like 10-course thing.
But you don't know what you're going to get.
You don't know exactly what you're going to get. But the guy was like, oh, dude, good choice. Let's go.
Like every time.
And he made me feel really good, actually. Like every time.
I loved his personality.
I got this drink. He's like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. And he was like, oh, wow, you guys are ready to order. And he like explained the menu. I don't know. He was just so kind and like they validated our parking and just his attitude and the way he treated us was so nice versus here. I just don't really get that. They just feel like they're so busy for you that they don't really have time to talk to you. And that's kind of how I feel in a lot of encounters here versus like the Midwest. They're like, how are you? How's your day? When you're checking you out at the grocery store, they bag your, you help them. It's just different. Yeah. Like I'm used to that.
I just based some of the experiences that we've had. And I'm sure in SoCal, in certain areas, maybe in LA where it's a little bit busier, like it is here in the Bay Area, it's different, right? People just don't have time for anyone. We're going. And then in other places, it's a little bit slower. Like I would say Orange County was a little bit slower. Glendale, Pasadena was definitely a little bit slower. Yeah. So I think it depends on the area, not necessarily like NorCal versus SoCal.
Yeah, this is just our experience. There is nothing wrong with how people are doing their life. I'm just saying this is based on my observation. Yeah. And
I think the other thing too, like going back to like the not having time, one thing I've experienced that I think when I was down there or just outside of here in general is that people who are not from here that I've met, they actually want to have a conversation with you, and that's something I've noticed, just between people I've interacted with, and here it's like you don't have a lot of time to like have those conversations where it's like, hi, my name is this, I do this, okay, and then it's like kind of done. It's a lot of like surface small talk.
Yep.
But again, I don't think it's a NorCal SoCal thing. I think it's just like an area thing.
Yeah, so overall, I thought that the people that I interacted with were nicer. Although I did go one place, and based on the phone call, I'm not going to say where or who or whatever, because we're not trying to shade these like local businesses and stuff. But when they answered the phone, I was just like, oh, this is the whole like Kardashian thing of like, oh, hi, you called, like that.
Oh,
I didn't tell you about it,
no,
but
you didn't.
basically I was like, oh, that doesn't sound that great. But then it ended up being an amazing experience. So not everyone's just like, rah, rah, so excited. I'm
Yeah.
so jolly and happy to serve you. Some people are just really chill, and in their heart, they are happy to serve you. So I was really surprised. I don't know why. I just thought it would be very like stuck up, the glitz and the glam. And maybe we weren't in LA for very long to experience that. But because a lot of people always say like, oh yeah, LA, like it's all smoke and mirrors, because a lot of people we watch on YouTube, like Jeannie Mai, if you guys watch Hello Honey, like she's just like, yeah, people in LA, they just use you and that's it. And she'll flat out say that stuff. And I've heard that from a lot of people, but I didn't get to experience that. And I'm glad I didn't.
Well, also, I think that further supports that it's based on the area, not really like the entire like SoCal or NorCal, like that whole region. Where if you're in SoCal and maybe you're in the LA area, right? I'm not trying to generalize this or stereotype this, but maybe it is that way. And then you go to Orange County where it's a different culture, different vibe, and people just act a little bit differently.
Or you go to San Diego and it's like super, super beach town chill. And everyone's just like, yeah, hang loose.
Surf's up, bro.
Yeah. Or you go to Malibu, like the guy, he was just super social and just
Yeah.
Hey, hi, you guys are on YouTube. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Like I was almost shocked by his friendliness because it was a lot for my introverted self. So it was sometimes it was a lot, sometimes it was too much.
And we met like another YouTuber there, Koa Rothman. I think I mentioned in the last one. That was cool. Pro surfer from Hawaii, just casually, just kind of walked right in front of me. And then when I saw him, I'm like, whoa, this is kind of crazy.
Yep.
Talked to him a little bit. It was pretty chill. But then the other guy at the surf shop, he was like a YouTuber as well that we met.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, what do you say? He's like, I have
117,000 subscribers.
117,000. He had like a camera guy following him. So it's cool to see.
We have
another
110. So,
but not 1,000 yet.
Yeah, he was probably like, this is interesting. YouTubers, huh? So, because he looked us up on his phone.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Should have subscribed, man.
So,
come on, man.
I know.
All right, so NorCal versus SoCal people.
I mean, I love the people in our community, like our church community. We love them. But overall, when I think about like service and like strangers, SoCal was better.
Okay. Mine's just in the middle, like flat. So no points either. But since you pick SoCal, I guess SoCal wins this one.
But, because I go out more to the malls and restaurants and stuff like that than Tommy boba shops. And everything was just better. Like the boba experience, everything was they were just a little nicer.
Yeah.
But that's not what everyone values. So that's just me.
Wait, can we talk about boba right quick?
Sure.
Okay, so let's talk about that. NorCal versus SoCal boba.
I mean, Phil was basically telling me how a lot of the boba places in NorCal are from SoCal, which I did get to see that.
Like all the good stuff from SoCal comes up to NorCal, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah. And now I finally understood what he was saying because Sunright was so good. It was amazing. And I tried it in NorCal when I came back. It was not the same.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Wait, Sunright? I haven't had it up here yet.
Yeah, you didn't want any. It wasn't as sweet. Like, I don't know. It just was different.
Was that the one in Irvine?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that place was really good. Also, like boba guys.
Oh, that was awful.
Big disappointment.
That was, honestly, I'm just going to say it was nasty. Like, this is what I mean when I don't like wasting my money on things that don't taste good. I literally had to throw the drink away. It was nasty. Like, it did not taste good.
Yeah, I struggled to finish mine. I got an ube drink, which I love ube. It's just...
I love strawberry tea.
I don't know, man.
It was nasty. I threw that away. Do not recommend boba guys.
It was tasteless to me, boba guys. I mean, the ube drink I got from there. And then, like, I don't know what... I got it was like ube chunks or taro chunks. I don't know. It kind of tastes plasticky, which is kind of crazy. But there's a boba guys opening up nearby where we live, and we're going to give it another try.
No, I probably won't. Because that's how protective I am of, like, I work hard
But
for money.
it's a different store, different people, maybe different operation. You never know.
And even when a brand new restaurant opens up, that's the last time that's like I have the least desire to try it when something opens right away. Like there is the hype of like going.
Well, yeah. I'm gonna wait like 2 months before I go.
Yeah, then maybe we'll try it. Maybe I'll just have a sip of
That's
fizz.
like Bay Area probs right there. Also, maybe SoCal probs, where anything new that opens up, you're gonna have to wait in a long line.
Yeah, not a fan of that.
Yeah, same.
So next up is traffic. So everyone that I've talked to says that traffic in SoCal is just awful. Like every single person I've talked to talks about how bad traffic is down there. We went on July 4th weekend, so I honestly only felt traffic in like Beverly Hills, LA area, which everyone talks about LA traffic. Literally, if you don't even live in LA, you hear about LA traffic.
405.
We definitely experienced that. Wasn't a fan. NorCal has nothing to compare. NorCal has traffic, but it wasn't even close to that.
I think it depends where you live. So like LA County, right? Tons of traffic. Like when we were in Beverly Hills, when we were in like North LA, Hollywood, heck of traffic. But then when we're in like Irvine, Orange County, it wasn't too bad. Newport had a little bit of traffic, but that was just because we were there on the weekend. But I think again, traffic wise, it just depends where you live. Depends where you are, like what areas you're in when you're in SoCal. Is it LA County, Orange County? Are you up in Santa Barbara area?
I will say that the roads in Orange County were beautiful, super like paved well. It was Orange County, right?
And it felt clean.
Orange County, yeah. So the roads in Orange County were amazing, but the traffic in Beverly Hills, LA, and all that, ooh, that was rough. I wasn't even driving, and I felt overwhelmed. You know, I again, Midwest person. I don't love city life, traffic, stuff like that. It was a lot.
San Jose is not too bad in terms of traffic, unless you're like on the 101 during like rush hour time.
Yeah, but
then it's a done deal.
Yeah, but I would choose NorCal roads and traffic. No, not roads, traffic over SoCal.
Like you would rather deal with NorCal, like Bay Area traffic versus like LA traffic.
Yeah, 100.
Okay. I don't really care. So I guess NorCal wins this one.
Yeah, and then geography, I feel like SoCal was warmer, which I really enjoyed. Like the beaches were warmer.
The water was warmer.
Yeah, that was...
Like the ocean water.
You can't compare that. Like I feel like, who wants to go to the beach when it's freezing? Only Tommy does.
And I do. I just went a couple of days ago. But, you know, I think the same thing. So this is geography we're talking about, NorCal and SoCal geography. I think both have great geography to offer on both ends. So this is actually a pretty hard one for me. And let's talk through it. I guess I can start. So like Bay Area, NorCal, you're literally just a few, like 3 hours or so, maybe 4, to some like of the most amazing places, I would say, you know, around here on the West Coast, which is like Lake Tahoe, you got Yosemite, you have Big Sur, and just beautiful, beautiful places here out in California and the like the Northern California, right?
A little more nature.
It's very naturey, kind of hikey.
Like you can surf, you can snowboard, you can ski.
Yeah, I think surfing is kind of, I mean, that's the one thing I love about living here. You can go to Tahoe in the wintertime, go snowboarding, skiing. If you're a hiking, camping person, Yosemite or Big Sur, and if you want to go surfing, you got miles and miles of coast, you know, all the way up and down. But that's true for SoCal as well, surfing. The one big thing, so I went surfing in SoCal, and the water was definitely warmer, and the sand was actually really hot. So I took off like my shoes, and I had to put them back on because it was burning my feet. It was crazy hot. The sand was. The water was a bit warmer. I think it was like mid 60s. I think in the podcast you said it was freezing, but that's not freezing. Up here, it's cold. It's like in the 50s. So the water was a lot warmer. There were people who were surfing like in board shorts, which is something you typically do not see up in Santa Cruz.
No way you'd see it here.
Everyone is typically in a wetsuit. I mean, I still wore a wetsuit, but I wore like a thinner one. It's called like a 3-2, so it's thinner. But it felt really good, and I felt like I could be out there for a while. And be completely fine. It was a really nice day out when I went. And then in SoCal, I don't know exactly, because we haven't been to SoCal enough to really understand all the stuff it has to offer in terms of its geography, its geographic nature. I think there's like Mammoth Mountains or Mammoth Lakes or something like that. We just don't know enough. I know San Diego is really nice. So the beaches, I think, are nicer in SoCal.
Yeah, beaches are definitely nicer. It's warmer there, but I don't know. I'm not the best one with like nature and stuff. I'm just not one with nature generally. I mean, I love Yosemite; it's one of my favorite places, but I don't think like for me, I'm kind of in the middle. Like I think they're both amazing. I just think the beaches in SoCal are way better because it's not ice cold. Like I took my family to SF to go see the Golden Gate Bridge. Half of it was covered with fog. It was so cold, my body was aching.
It was really
we
cold.
were freezing cold, wearing North Face jackets like that. I could live without the freeze.
But that's SF.
I mean, it's cold though. Like even in Santa Cruz, like, sometimes it gets so cold I have to wait in the car for him.
True.
But like when he went surfing in Malibu, I sat on the beach the whole entire time, perfectly fine, not hot, not cold, perfection, like perfect weather.
Yeah. So beach wise, I definitely enjoy SoCal more. This is a hard one, as I think about it. But I think for me, well, also one thing before I tell you guys which one I think is better. I think SoCal too geographically, just like with the palm, there's a lot more palm trees, like those like nice looking palm trees, like they're just really nice to look at. I think like when people who haven't been to California, who have never visited here, to me, SoCal is like the epitome of like your stereotypical California, like the beaches, the palm trees, just like what you think of when you think of California. Like we drove down the PCH, like the one just on the coast, right? And it felt like a movie. It felt kind of surreal. I'm like, dude, this is like pretty amazing. And like we live in the state and it's like, hours away. I'm just driving down and I'm trying to like look and drive at the same time. I'm like looking, I'm like, okay, I gotta drive. And we're just right on the coast, super scenic drive. Amazing. So if I were to say geographically, and this is more of a personal choice, I don't think there's a real winner here, but for me, SoCal would win it. Oh, actually, do you want to talk about anything? Okay. So SoCal would win it for me because of surfing. To me, that like, for my personal like interest and hobbies, like I love surfing, and why not surf a beach or surf a break where you can wear board shorts, right? And I think what would triumph that would be Hawaii, but SoCal would win it for me in terms of the geography.
I don't really have a preference because it's just not what like food to me and shopping and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm more of like a nature person. I like to be outside, and
I appreciate
more so
it
inside. Right?
Yeah, I can look out my window right now, see a bunch of trees and some mountains, and I'm like, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, just living here too, like just looking out the window, you can see mountains. Like it's pretty amazing. So either way, super blessed. Just super grateful of just the stuff we get to enjoy out here.
Yeah, and to wrap up, like just the comparison of this whole NorCal SoCal thing is like the culture and like things to do there. I mean, we only were there for 4 days, so I can't really say like things to do, which one's better, which one's not. I think it's something that I want to keep learning and diving into, asking my friends. But ultimately, if I'm going to do a trip like this, I want to do it with people in my life that I want to do this stuff with. Like I wish my friends were there eating with us. Like, so I don't think it really matters to me. As long as I'm with people, I'm okay in either NorCal or SoCal because I think there's so many great things to both. So I don't really know I don't know why I added culture / things to do, but maybe there's more things to do down there. I don't know.
I mean, there's tons of things to do down there, right? We're only there for 4 days, so we could only experience so much.
Yeah,
and
there's like Disneyland and everything down there.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff. San Diego,
Tons of beaches.
You got Carlsbad, you got all that stuff. Oh, talking about like this PCH earlier, we passed by. If you guys seen Fast and the Furious 1, I'm pretty sure. So you guys know the scene where the guy pulls up. So Paul Walker and Vin Diesel are at the light in their Toyota Supra, the orange car, and then this black Ferrari pulls up, and then Paul Walker was like, "What is the retail on one of those?" And the guy's like, "Ferrari, more than you can afford, pal." And then like they race down like the PCH. Like we passed through there, and I saw the restaurant and everything, and I'm like, "Dude, that's pretty crazy." It was just. I don't think you've seen Fast and Furious 1, right?
I cannot believe I have never seen first Fast and Furious because I love Fast and Furious, but I guess I started at Too Fast, Too Furious, the second movie.
I think that was the scene. Or
I don't
it was a
remember
scene,
at all.
He was like eating the fries, and him and Paul Walker and Vin Diesel were just like talking, and it was kind of like sunset. There was a bunch of people at the restaurant. So I'm pretty sure that was the restaurant we passed because it looked super, super familiar. But anyways, side note. Okay, so let's tally up the points on SoCal and NorCal and what we currently, I want to say currently think is better. just based on what we've experienced so far. So, we've been here in the Bay Area for almost 6 years, if not more.
It's
No,
not
no, no,
6 years.
almost 6 years.
Yeah, it's fine.
Almost 5.5 years, actually. And we've been in 4 or 5 days. I feel funny saying that, like 4 or 5 days in SoCal. I mean, we've been to SoCal before, but we've been here a lot longer, like for years.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe we are a little biased. I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying based on our current experiences that we've experienced so far.
I mean, I also want to say that I love where we live, and I think it's important to love where you live and not have to, like, I'm speaking to myself and preaching to myself on this one, to basically be happy with what you have and stop looking around and like comparing yourself to everything else. Just because SoCal has better Vietnamese food, like hands down from my experience, doesn't mean I can't appreciate what I have here, right? Because there were some points in my life, like living at Purdue, where there was one Vietnamese restaurant and it wasn't even that good, but it was great at the time.
Shady.
I mean, it's just the truth.
Like, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I'm not trying to be shady. So basically, I think SoCal's better food. I think the people in SoCal, based on my experience, were nicer. But I don't know why I feel very not confident saying that, because I don't hear anybody talking about nice people like in California in general.
You do. It's just based on your experiences.
But yeah, so people, traffic in NorCal's better. Geography, honestly, it's whatever to me. And then culture and things to do, it's kind of this. So I don't really have points for those. So I guess SoCal.
Okay, so I think instead of like announcing like a winner, let's ask this question instead that we can answer, and then maybe you guys can answer as well for our local friends or friends who live in California or who have been out here. Where would you rather live, NorCal or SoCal?
I mean, I love
just based on your experiences right now.
I love the prices of Southern California more because we live in such an expensive area that everyone and everybody here talks about how expensive it is to live here. Like, it is just a reality. Like, if you make a lot of money, like I know people who make so much money, it's like stupid how much money it is. It's ridiculous, but they still complain about how expensive it is. So like, no matter how much money you have, people still say it's expensive. So that's one difference that I forgot to mention.
Cost of
living is really different. But I would honestly choose NorCal because I feel like I have so much more to learn about this place, so much more to like do and to impact and to touch the lives of people around me, and my business is here. So I would just choose NorCal because of that. I have too much rooted here, too much planted here, but doesn't mean I'm going to be here forever. But I will go to SoCal and eat as much as I can.
Hey, we can vacay in SoCal. Hey, it doesn't mean we can't buy a house in SoCal, a little vacay house, in Newport or something. That's goals right there.
Yeah,
the houses in Newport, if you've ever been there, amazing. It's like a dream beach house type of house. For me, I think based on my experiences right now is to water the grass I'm standing on, and that is NorCal. Mm-hmm. And I just believe that we're called to be here right now in our lives. Mm-hmm. And I love the Bay Area. It's amazing. Sure, there's like, things in SoCal that I might enjoy more. But I love it here. Like I love going down to Santa Cruz and surfing every week.
Yeah.
It's like I consider it my home break where I surf at, and it's amazing. And I do really enjoy being out here. I just love, California in general, and to be able to travel to SoCal and live in NorCal. It's like a 6-hour drive, but like we can go there anytime we really want to. And so really,
or a 1-hour flight.
Or 1 hour flight or 45 minutes, whatever. And for me, it's just more like just feeling like a lot of gratitude to be able to have the opportunity to live out here. Because like Sopa mentions, it's very expensive just to live in California in general. Yeah. The California markets are much higher than everywhere else because there's a higher demand for people to live here, right? There's more demand, so.
Yeah, I will say that the SoCal pace of life was slower in the cities that we were in, and I prefer that more. So like as I get older and when I have kids, I think SoCal honestly makes way more sense in my mind because it's kind of hectic here. I mean, like Orange County, I'm saying, compared to here. Yeah. It's a little more hectic. It's more loud. Like, it was just really peaceful when we were out there. And I really loved that. It made me feel like I was in Indiana again, but better food and better views.
Way better views compared to Indiana.
Yeah.
No shade on Indiana, by the way. We like Indiana. It's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a really good thought too. Just as we get older, who knows where we'll be, where life takes us is where we'll be.
Yep. And so that's going to wrap up today's podcast, you guys. A little bit of a longer one. There's a lot to hash out, and we hope that you guys enjoyed it. It was fun just thinking through this and talking with you guys. Comment below or message us. Talk to us in person if you guys prefer NorCal or SoCal, because I want to know, am I missing out on something? I don't know. I probably am, but
I think
tell me.
Comment down on the YouTube video right now. I would say I want to see this. I want to see people kind of have conversations, kind of back and forth. I kind of want to see that. Like, I don't want to see like arguments, but just like based on what we talked about. What do you think? NorCal or SoCal, or do you have an opinion?
Yeah, because if you've never been to California, or not you, or only been in NorCal, only been in SoCal, just comment anyway. Like, I don't know. I just want to know. What do you think? Do you want to go? So
yeah, let's have the conversation in the comments.
Yep. So we hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast. Don't forget to subscribe if you guys haven't subscribed, because you don't want to miss out on our upcoming vlogs and podcasts. And we just want to thank you guys for tuning in every week. So this wraps it up. My name is Nguyen.
And my name is Tommy Nguyen.
We'll see you
Thank
guys
you for
next
being here.
week.
Peace out.